14th, go and vote. Okay, so lastly, I want to talk about the gentleman known as Wole Soyinka and what he said about Bobi Wine and Ugandans. So just let me get the article here. For those of you who know Wole Soyinka, I think some of you might have missed what he said on on Bobi Wine, but I'll get you the article here, and then maybe try to read out to you and show that Bobi Wine is not only for Uganda but the entire world, and like you guys can see. All right, so so that is Wole Soyinka. Most of you, I think, know him, especially for those of you who did English literature in high school. Those of you who did English and literature, most of you must have used his books. So, so in an article by Quaz Africa, it says that author and playwright Wole Soyinka, author, playwright, and poet. Hold on, is my sound on? Especially for those of you who did. All right. Author, playwright, and poet Wole Soyinka has long been forthright about African democracy, especially in his home country of Nigeria. He has spoken up against the military juntas and civilian autocrats alike, showcasing the eloquence you would expect from Africa's first Nobel laureate in literature, an honor he received in 1986. That's the gentleman there. The 86-year-old, hold on, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, aka Bobi Wine, is the Ugandan pop star turned elected member of parliament who is now in the thorn of Museveni's side as the leader of opposition challenge buoyed by millions of Ugandans. Bobi Wine, this is what Wole Soyinka said. Bobi Wine, for me right now, represents the face of democracy for Africa, says Wole Soyinka, speaking from Lagos. Perhaps the surest sign Bobi Wine may be a credible threat to Museveni's rule is how brutally the administration has dealt with the 30-year-old politician and his supporters. In November, more than 50 people were killed after the opposition supporters protested the arrest of Bobi Wine and other opposition leaders. Soyinka says he has been watching Bobi Wine, from whom he met in Nigeria in October 2019, for a while now. Even before we met, Wole Soyinka says, even before we met, I had taken an interest in his movement. Had taken an interest in his movement, his candidature, and his passion. I share it. I share every bit of it, says Soyinka. Despite being an octogenarian himself, the professor says he's fed up with Africa's leadership of sick old men. Museveni, who is Africa's third longest ruler, claimed victory in 5 elections since 1986. I share it. I share every bit of it. Oh, sorry guys, I was just monitoring my sound. All right, Soyinka's history with Uganda dates back to the 1970s when he joined protests against the tyrannical rule of the president Idi Amin. Indeed, Museveni first came to prominence also by opposing Amin, but as a young military rebel leader. Soyinka said again, we just have to ask Museveni to stop terrorizing Ugandans, to stop terrorizing Ugandan people, to stop behaving even worse than Amin, against who we all rose. Soyinka says, I met Museveni during the fight against Sani Abacha, former Nigerian military dictator. At the time we met, it was still possible to consider him a democratic leader. Today, he has joined the gang, the enemies of society. Soyinka, like other prominent opposition figures, is speaking up on Bobi Wine's behalf, in part to raise awareness of his own numerous arrests by the government forces. At one point in 2018, Soyinka and others feared he would be kept in prison indefinitely after photos emerged of his injuries. There is another link between Bobi Wine and Soyinka. Fela Kuti, the late Nigerian Afrobeat legend, who was the first cousin to Soyinka. Bobi Wine first met Soyinka in Lagos at the annual Fela Belation event organized by the Kuti family. One of Bobi Wine's influential international allies or supporters is Ricky Stein, who managed Fela in 1980s. Fela died in 1987 and is best known for his activist music. Also formed the political party in 1979. Blah 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 blah. So lastly, Soyinka said, whoever champions the principle of democracy, I back that individual, he says. Whoever opposes it, especially in a brutal way that doesn't even think of the future, that degrades the humanity on behalf of whom such a political principle is being expressed, that person is for me an enemy of humanity, not just society. Wole Soyinka. So Wole Soyinka, what he's trying to say is that Museveni is an enemy of humanity because he opposes democracy. And he also likens Bobi Wine as the face of democracy in the entire African continent. Like you have seen in the article, Wole Soyinka is one of those people who stood up against the rule of Idi Amin and opposed Idi Amin. Just imagine all those miles away from Nigeria, getting to know what is happening in the country Uganda. Uganda has a very good connection, by the way. There's a big connection between Uganda and Nigeria in one way or the other. We have been using Nigerian books for a while now in our curriculum and English literature, as well as I think Kenyan books, which is really interesting. But that is not the point. The point is, Soyinka says that Bobi Wine is now the face of democracy in Africa. Recently, we saw Bobi Wine making travels, the past couple of years, being invited by Nelson Chamisa in Zimbabwe to attend one of the events that was there. He was one of the chief guests. He has been in South Africa and attended different partners. Mr. Malema has spoken high praise of Bobi Wine. He was selected to go and represent or talk about music and politics on Mama Awards. That is all African, movements here and there. He was in I think Ghana for some event there as well. Then he was in the Fela Belation event to celebrate the life of Fela Kuti. Fela Kuti is a very interesting person who sang a song called Zombie. The song that was called Zombie actually led the government of Nigeria at the time, the military dictatorship of Nigeria, to kill Fela Kuti's mother. Kuti's mother paid the price for Kuti's music. He sang a song called Zombie that was attacking the Nigerian military. And in the end, Kuti, they killed his mother. That's what happened, man. So, Kuti is also related. Fela Kuti is related to Wole Soyinka. And then you see like that kind of connection in one way or the other. So Bobi Wine's inspiration does not only stop in Uganda, but he's actually inspiring the entire African continent, which is really, really interesting, because for a very long time we haven't had such kind of people who could stand up against these sick old men of Africa, just like Wole Soyinka describes them. He has also made international tours to different parts of the world. He has been to Jamaica. He met the Prime Minister in Jamaica, who also held Bobi Wine in high praise, made a song with renowned reggae artists known as Buju Banton. They did a track together and also performed in Kenya. He has actually been invited to go and speak in Kenya when Museveni went to Kenya after Bobi Wine. You see, Bobi Wine is wise. Museveni is reactive. What do you call it? Proactive? Bobi Wine is proactive, Museveni is reactive. Bobi Wine went to Zimbabwe. Museveni invited this gentleman called who is that gentleman who is the president now in Zimbabwe? Emerson Mnangagwa. He invited Mnangagwa and gave him a prize, that he gave him one of those medals, a Ugandan medal, a high medal in Uganda. He gave it to Mnangagwa when Bobi Wine went to Zimbabwe, and then they tried even to stop him and arrest him, which is interesting. When Bobi Wine went to Kenya, Museveni also went to Kenya. When he went to speak amongst a group of individuals, they booed him. When Bobi Wine was arrested, Ghana rose up, Kenya rose up, and different other countries on the continent rose up to speak in unison against this sick old man, as Wole Soyinka describes him. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening to me today. I think I have gone over the time, but it's been not a so good day, but a day where we can celebrate at least these NRM guys have been taken off. And that is another win. But the biggest win should come on the 14th of February, 2021. Please endeavor to go and vote. Get your national IDs. Get everything that you need. Do not forget your mask. Go and vote. Then afterwards, move out of the voting premises. Stand on the roadside or stand in a distance. Hold your camera. See anything unusual. Take a picture. Make sure you download your YouVote app. Make sure you download the YouVote app and you're ready to take a picture of the DRR forms and things of that sort.